Hi friends, welcome to the new session of chemistry. You have been into the class 9 and this will be your first class in chemistry. So I hope you all love chemistry. The introduction of chemistry was given and in that we have discussed the basic theories behind what is chemistry, why reaction happens and how reaction happens. Okay, that things we have discussed. So maybe you might have got a brief idea about what all is happening in chemistry. What is chemistry? Okay, so today we will be moving into the new chapter in 9th standard, that is matter in our surroundings. We are living in this universe. In this beautiful universe, we are having a lot of things in this world. We are surrounded by a lot of various items and all those things are made up of tiny particles. The matter around us is made up of particles. And what is matter? Matter is something or anything which occupies space and has mass. The mobile which you are holding right now in your hand, it is matter because it is having some mass and it is occupying the space in this in the air. The pencil which you write, the pen which you write, the book you use for writing, the spectacles which we use, the laptop which some of you might be using laptops, the laptops which you use, the chair which you are sitting, all are made up of tiny particles, and these items we call it all together as matter. In this chapter we will be studying the different forms of matter and the properties of those different forms, namely solids, liquids and gases. The three types of the matter, whatever matter is present, it's made up, it can be classified into solids, liquids and gases. We will be studying the properties of solids, properties of liquids, properties of gases, etc. Okay, so how can we classify matter? We are breathing in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, it is gas. We are drinking water. The water again, it is converted into ice when it is kept in the refrigerator, isn't it? So the water itself, it is in the liquid form as well as in the gaseous form. And when we boil water to 100 degrees Celsius, the water itself, the liquid water will be converted into gaseous form, water vapors. So there occurs the same water is having three different forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. Likewise, the whole material in the universe, sometimes it can be classified under solids, some other materials can be classified under liquids, the other materials can be classified under gases. Okay, so we are going to discuss more about these classifications of matter. Clear? Okay, so what can we say? The physical properties or the physical nature of matter. I have told you matter is made up of tiny particles. The whole particles, the particles with which the matter is made up of are very tiny, and the matter will have space between them. No doubt, when we are taking a glass of water or a beaker of water, I am taking a beaker of water. And what I do is, I will mix sugar into it. I will pour 2 spoons of sugar into this. Okay, so water is a matter. The water which I have taken is a liquid form of matter. Sugar is in the solid form. Okay, when I immerse this sugar, 2 spoons of sugar into this water, what will happen? When we mix it, what will happen? The tiny particles of sugar will dissolve in water, isn't it? They will dissolve in water. And will there be any change in the position of the water level? When we put 2 spoons of sugar, will there be any change in the position of the water level in the beaker? There won't be any change. So where does this sugar goes? We know whenever we are whenever we are immersing a big stone into water, it won't dissolve. So what happens? The water level rises. But here the tiny particles of sugar, it is dissolved in the water. So thus the water level doesn't rise up. So where does this sugar particles go? So for that you have to understand that in the liquid water form, the liquid is made up of tiny water molecules, and these water molecules will be having space between them. The water molecules will be having a lot of intermolecular spaces in between them. And where does this, now it will be clear, these sugar molecules, the sugar particles, the tiny particles, they will go and occupy these spaces. The sugar particles will go and occupy these small spaces inside the water means the inside the water which is taken in the beaker. So it cannot be seen by a naked eyes. We can't see it, we can't observe it, but we have to understand it by a logical sense that the sugar particle is matter is made up of tiny particles. So if you take even a pinch of sugar, that will have millions and millions of sugar particles in that, and those particles will be taking up the space between the molecules. So matter is having space between them. The particles of matter will be having space between them. Clear? Okay. So now the next one and the important one is particles of matter are continuously moving. Important. Particles of matter are continuously moving. Okay, so I have told you matter is made up of particles, tiny particles, and these particles are having space between them. Matter is made up of particles which are having space between them, and these particles are continuously moving. They are motion. The property of this property, the property of motion of the particles are very important in chemistry, because this motion of the particles are responsible for a lot of factors or a lot of phenomena in chemistry. Okay, so keep in mind, particles are matter is made up of tiny particles, they are having space between them, they are in continuous motion, and the last one, they attract each other. The particles of motion, the particles are attracting each other. Okay, so what we can say, they attract each other, they are continuously in motion, they are having space between them, and they are made up of, matter is made up of tiny particles. Okay, so I have told you the particles are continuously in motion. If you take a glass of water and if you drop a small droplet of, ink into it, you can see that even though the water is not moving, the ink will start to spread all over the water. The whole surface of the whole water will be spread by the ink. The ink will keep spreading as and when it is dipped or dropped into the water body, into the water taken in the vessel. So from that we can understand that the particles of the ink, they are continuously in motion. Then in order to understand whether they attract each other or not, if we take iron nail, a chalk piece, and a rubber band. If we take iron nail, a chalk piece and a rubber band, and if we try to hammer it or if we try to break it, which one will be broken easily? The chalk piece we can break it easily, isn't it? The chalk piece can be broken easily. The rubber band also we can we can stretch it and we can break it. But what about iron nail? Even if we try to break it, if we hammer it also, it's very difficult to break the iron nail. So what can we understand? The particles in the iron nail, they are attracted each other and they are having a strong force of attraction, strong attraction between the molecules. So from that we can say that the particles of the matter, they are having attraction in between them, they are having forces of attraction between them, they attract each other, particles attract each other. Okay. So now we will be moving on to the states of matter or classification of matter. States of matter. I have told you matter is classified as solids, liquids and gases. Matter is made up of solids, liquids and gases. Okay, so we know what is solid, they are hard. Liquid means it's not that much hard, it's very what, it is less harder than the solids, and gases it's very free, isn't it? So we have studied a lot of means what the properties of solids, etc. we have studied it. Okay, so what are the properties? The solids will have definite shape. Solids will have definite shape. Solids will have definite shape, fixed volume, definite shape and fixed volume. Liquid, what will they do? They will occupy the shape of the container. They will occupy the shape of the container. Gases will also occupy the shape of the container. Solids are harder, liquids are less harder, gases are even less harder, isn't it? Okay, then why it is harder? The solids, why it is said to be harder? Because they are having force of attraction, strong forces of attraction. They are having strong forces of attraction between them, particles. The particles are attracted each other and they are tightly packed. Force of attraction and they are tightly packed. So since they are tightly packed, they are having strong force of attraction, they are tightly packed, so the solids are harder. Here what will happen? They will be having less force of attraction, they are loosely packed, and thus they are having what? A loose structure. And gases even less, what? Their force of attraction is even less and they are even loosely packed, very loosely packed. Okay, so that is it. And what about the compressibility? Compressibility means if you want to compress a solid, an iron piece, an iron bar, it's very difficult. But if you want to compress a liquid, we can easily do it because it is not having that much strength, it is not stronger than it is not stronger as that of solids. So we can compress it, and gases are easily compressible. Okay, and the particles, the motion or the movement of the particles. In solids, the particles will be in less motion. I have told you particles are in continuous motion, but in solids the particles will be moving at a low speed or low rate, but in liquids they will be moving at a higher rate than the solids. But in gas, the molecules are or the particles are at random motion, very easily they will be moving. So that is why when we are coming from our school in the evening, when we are returning home in the evenings, if our mother is preparing some good snacks which is very favorite for us, even when before entering into a house we will be getting the smell. Why? Because the gas molecules, the gaseous molecules from the kitchen, from whatever is prepared, that molecules will be diffused in air. It will be coming through the air and it will enter into our mouth. Sorry, it will enter into our nose, and from that we can recognize that something is being prepared over there. So we will be very enthusiastic to enter into the house and we will throw our bags away and we will jump into the kitchen in order to eat, isn't it? Okay, so don't throw your bags away, keep it safe, because education is everything. Without education we can't do anything. Okay, so the differences between solids, liquids and gas we have discussed. Okay, so these are the main properties of solids, liquids and gases. Okay, the movement of particles should be kept in mind, the compressibility should be kept in mind, the force of attraction, the stronger, which is more harder, which is more softer, then the rate of diffusion of solids and liquids, etc. is the rate of diffusion. Whom will have the more rate of diffusion? Gases will have more rate of diffusion than liquids and solids. Okay, so these are the main important things. And one more thing, the particles of solids. the particles of solids, they will be tightly packed. I told you, in order to have an idea, I will just mention this. They will be tightly packed. The particles of the solids are tightly packed. But what about liquids? They are loosely packed than the solids. They are loosely packed than the solids. But what about gases? They are even loosely packed. Now you understood the differences between the arrangement of solids, liquids and gases, I hope. Okay. Now, the next thing which we want to study is the conversion of matter from one form to another. Conversion of matter from one form to another. Okay. So, what we will do? If we take a solid particle and if we heat it, what will happen? If we heat it, what will happen? After some time, the solid will be converted into liquid. So, what is happening there? Solid is being converted into liquid. So, what it is? It is called boiling. Melting. The solid is converted into liquid, it is called melting. And what is boiling? What is boiling? When liquid, it is heated, it is converted into gas. And this process is called liquid to gas, it is called what? Boiling. So, solid to liquid, it is melting, liquid to gas, it is boiling. Okay. So, in some cases, for example, this we no need to heat itself, the solid gas. Let us take the case of ice, the form of water ice, which is in the solid form. The ice will be easily melted into liquid at room temperature. Ice will be melting into liquid at room temperature, isn't it? And this ice which is melted into water in the liquid form, if we heat it to 100 degrees Celsius, what will happen? That will be converted into gas, which is in the liquid water will be converted into water vapor, which is in the gaseous form. So, the ice is being melted into water, water is being boiled into water vapor. But in some cases, some materials can be easily converted from solid to gas. Some materials can be easily converted from solid to gas directly without being converted into the liquid form. The solid can be converted into gas, and that process is called sublimation. And the vice versa, the gas will be directly converted into solids. So, this process is called sublimation, and the example camphor, the material camphor, if we heat it, it will directly be converted into gas, not into liquid. The camphor will be directly converted into gas when we heat it. It won't be converted into liquid form, it will be directly converted into gas, and this process is called what? This process is called sublimation. Clear?